So, hello team. I'm a product designer in Enablement, and recently my priority has changed to support the search team. So I'd like to introduce my journey for redesigning the search result page. So this is our team members. All people are super helpful, and then they are really interested in this design change. So that helps me a lot. And if you're interested in, you can just hit the handbook link later. And we have this global search category as viable, but actually there are a couple of more. So if you haven't used this feature, so I know that some of folks never use this feature, so I prepared this screen already. So this is the global search that we call. And if you just search for anything, because you are looking into the advanced search result page, so you can search for issue, merge requests, and even comments and some comments. So this is we call as a global search in general. And also they have another UI on the admin area. It's kind of managing the Elasticsearch and managing the indexing and control. So from this milestone, I started to jump into this team and support the design related tasks. And just before that, I just wanted to be prepared. So I did some quick work. So you can also click the link inside if you want to check the details. So if I just go back to the screen, like this is like issue, which is just a list view. So I just name it here as a general view, which is just the common list like issue and MR comment. This looks really similar to each other. So if you see the merge request page, it takes a while to load this page. And yeah, it looks really similar to each other. But if you hit the comment button, it's also another type of a list view, but looks a little bit of different. Of course, it's a search result of the comment. And if you are going through the wiki tab, which is quite like similar to the code search, it looks like a code box and also with some title of the file. So I kind of categorize with this three type of view just to understand, okay, this is the information structure inside of this page. And then I know what I have to do for the next step. So also just before this milestone started, we started this design discussion. So for this time, I started to using the Figma as the single source of truth, like Dimitri mentioned a lot before. So I just put my initial draft and proposal in this Figma file and then just ping the team that like, hey, just give me the feedback when you're free. So they just jump in, and I actually never expect this much of feedback. So if you see the comments, like I got so many valuable feedback from the engineers and the PM. So it was really helpful for me. And after that, I had to rework on this design based upon their feedback. And we made some synchronous design discussion together with the engineer and also with the PM, because I think for the search, performance is quite an important factor. So I also like to hear their perspective, and I also want to deliver something makes our performance better. So actually this was the type A that I came up with at that time. So what I had in mind at that time was just like, if you just imagine Google search is like the title and the description, and it has some space. And I also want to show some status indicator if it is about issue and the merge request, because I think it's important to show them. And this was a type B because I got a really valuable feedback from my manager, Jackie. And then like, yeah, actually we have this type of similar view in the issue board and also the merge request board. And I feel like, yeah, maybe we can reuse this component if it works. So I provided these two different types of the layout. And I also made some noise in the UX co-working channel because I wasn't sure like which type of font style do I have to follow. Like for example, if you see the type B, it's a black bold color and it's a hyperlink to the issue. And the type A is like blue color with the bold style, and it also behaves the same. So I wasn't sure, so I had to ask the channel, and then I got valuable feedback from the team. So, and this is the other thing. So I just also wanted to share with the engineering team and the product team that, okay, maybe it should work like this. If we have the left Rails faucet as an advanced filter, then I think it should really work. That was just based upon my imagination. I didn't have a really like tough research. So that was just from my gut feeling. So I came up with this design. And I asked several different designers, including my pair designer, Hayana, and the UX researcher, Lori. And then I got so many valuable feedback. So the left one is the first version, and this is like the version 4 or something. So I decided to go for this last proposal, and the team liked this version. So this is how iteration like changes in the design look like. And just before planning for the implementation planning, like we are thinking about like which components should go first. And I suggest to focus on this red area because it's more flexible. I mean, in terms of front end structure, I think it should be more flexible if we just start with this design. And for this type of left Rails faucet, I wasn't sure. It's a big design changes, and it also includes some behavioral changes. So I want to do some more research before delivering this. And sorry. And also for this area, like I am not so sure about this because we don't have the analytics number yet. So we are not so sure like how actual user behavior on this page at the moment. So I like to keep that area in my backlog. So we are working on the very first iteration as the first part. So I think our PM, John, created this issue and we are going to working on this. So after this issue is delivered, so this is the current design and the right one will be the expected changes. So if you see that like we can show a lot of more different, a lot of contents than before because it now is aligned with our latest pajama design system. Thanks to that, I can just deliver this in a really quickly. And also we will have a small status indicator in front of issue and also the merge request title. And for the part 2 first iteration, we are going to introduce this advanced filter, which is part of part of this, but I was really hesitant to deliver this faucet as it is. So we are agreed that to deliver like this type of just using the default dropdown, if you see here, it's not discoverable at the moment, but I think it should be fine in terms of functionality. And for the MVC, I think it's a good starting point. So this is for the future iteration. And of course, I need to spend more time on make this more like visionary, crazy changes. I think I should spend more time to do that. But before that, like I would like to validate with user if this makes sense to them. And also what we are missing currently, because I just like dive into this team and this design ticket. So I wasn't sure like what's the actual problem. So our team is working on to gathering the analytics data, and also we are planning to have a user research like how are they doing on this page and what is the real pain point behind this theme. So this was the progress. It was a really quick turnaround, but I could do it thanks to the team's help. And I think for the future iteration, I will take a look also the admin area to for the system administrators. And I just like to share with you that like we have pretty strong features. So this was from our team's demo that it's a custom search feature, I think, which is quite famous for the developers. And this is also internal link. I won't go through this dashboard because it's maybe a confidential content, but if you can see this and then you can see like which tab or which keyword is searched frequently, or you can also see some dashboard in the chart there. So thank you for your time and feel free to ping me if you have any feedback or any question that we appreciate it.